Hello potential friends and adventurers, I'm Em and today we're going to talk about at what level should we start a role-playing campaign. Welcome to the DM table. Now, whilst it may depend on the system you're running, or even have a system that doesn't have levels sometimes, we could maybe, at least I want to, give some new refreshing ideas to this subject in question. Maybe you'll like them, maybe you'll get to use them. And let's start from the bottom. Maybe you have heard what recommended level should there be for starting a campaign in that system, and many people are using it. That's somewhat due to their experience with the system, and they may have discovered a sort of a sweet spot mechanically for running that particular system. And whilst that's fine and their group might be okay with it, we want to potentially expand on this. Firstly, if you're new, you might want to start from the beginning, from level 1, albeit some people say that that's dangerous because the player's characters may find an untimely end due to their low HP and their low number of abilities. However, if you are new and this is the case, you might want to explore the mechanics from ground up, and therefore there's no harm in starting the campaign a little bit less dangerous, or maybe you thought up some mechanics of how to save your players from doom if it happens in session 1, so that you can actually explore the mechanics. Don't forget, this is your campaign and theirs, and you shouldn't let the situation prevent you from achieving what you set out to do. If you want your players to have a good time and not be in actual full danger of losing their character, you can secretly arrange it from behind the scenes, but you don't need to even tell them, and you have a good method and it springs when the desire strikes, or rather the need. If they really fall, then you can help them get up again, and then, you can tell them later that this is sort of a lucky fortuitous situation that will happen now, but it might not happen in the future, so that they should be careful. This can even reinforce good playing. However, I'm only suggesting this so that you start prepared and be sure that your players won't end the campaign where you don't want them to end the campaign. And therefore you can explore the system from the first level up. But what if you have played for a bit and now you have some experience? At what level should you start? Well, I think that, at least as a DM that really prefers all kinds of glitzy high-level effects and situations, and if you don't think that tabletop role-playing has visual effects, you're new, welcome to my channel. But besides the jokes, let's put it into perspective. Your players probably are looking forward to what they could do further beyond. And even if you have completed the campaign, maybe there's another campaign waiting for all of you that's fun. But this one may actually start at the level that the previous ended at. You can even let players import their characters if this fits with all their levels and potentially even stuff, though all of that is optional. However, I encourage sort of the consistency that can happen from this if the players are wanting and willing of this type of thing, and you also, as a DM, want to, per se, you wanted to run a different campaign, something else that's fun. The previous campaign was really drawing to end of its use, but you don't want to really run to a different group, per se. Not even to a different group of characters, because this is a wonderful group with wonderful characters. When you have that sort of situation where the group is wonderful and they love their characters and they really want to continue, maybe they self-insert, maybe not, but if they really want to continue and you see no problem with it, then that shouldn't be a problem. And don't really worry about the balance, because DMs often forget how much power they have over the campaign. They can be really careful about what kind of enemies and challenges will appear in the next campaign, so you don't need to really worry about whether the players will be challenged. Because if you have gained enough experience that you achieved them being challenged at the end of the campaign previous to this one, then you will be able to continue to do so. And if you felt that you were sort of being challenged at challenging them, then you may wanna indeed use this as an opportunity to work on this. Maybe even work on it a little bit before the campaign. Maybe even use the end of the previous campaign to test out some sort of meta that you'll be importing into the new campaign. Now, why I suggest doing this, amongst other things, or even starting if the players want to from new characters but on a higher level, is because you can explore higher ground. I love when things develop into all kinds of cosmic, philosophical, epic journeys of considering important things in life and universe, and really many great works are like that. There's no reason why we should hold back ourselves from exploring the full length of the level system of your preferred, system. And the only reason why people haven't much done that is because we occasionally have a system that's not really suited to high level because people haven't explored it before, and therefore less support is oriented to a ground that less people tread. Therefore, if you want in the future cool, high-level enabled systems, say you want your next favorite edition of D&D to support higher-level adventures well, now's your chance to prove that you want this by showing it off in front of others, with your group, with your players. Heck, even if you're doing it at home, and nobody's watching, which, should be probably the default state of things, but who knows what the future may bring, hey? We want to do what we like, and if the system isn't fitting to this, maybe eventually after a few campaigns of practice, some homebrewing is in order. However, even if you haven't done that many campaigns, what about that mid-level? We should really practice our system if you're gonna keep using it. Otherwise, we should switch our system. It's kind of like that, I suppose. You either use it or you lose it, and then when both you and players get better at it, it's no longer a difficulty, it's no longer a training period. Now you have full enough system mastery that you can handle this, and maybe if something is still lacking, but you know the problem, you can accurately homebrew and make new rules, new spells, new abilities, and I highly suggest balancing classes towards your players' preferences if they're not finding what they want in the book. Because if a player is really keen on playing some archetype that they've seen in their favorite work otherwise, you might want, if you're an experienced DM, to really come to their help to enable this in a system you're using, or find a system that your whole group would love to play, and yet they have never even seen it yet, that would provide them with all those benefits. And there's always hidden small systems out there. I just discovered a new one, I'll talk about it in the future, and it's surprising what, can slip you by if you don't keep up with it occasionally. Some systems can really help you get the flavor you want, as opposed to others. But I'm delving here too much into picking of the system, and so let's return to the subject. If you're not pursuing high level for the benefit of more epic scale and higher questions of potential of your players, your campaign, and yourself, maybe you want something more specific to what you imagined that's not related to level whatsoever. Well, you shouldn't hold yourself back. You should figure out which level in your system is appropriate for exactly what you want, and sort of try to run that and try to test it out. Don't think, well, I want to do this as a level 11 campaign, but that's kind of high. I should start with level 6 and work my way up. There's no reason. We shouldn't waste our time. If you have good players and you know what they would be doing up to that point, and they know, and you want to start with the more, intense part of the story, why not? Why not just start there? I'm sure you can make a great narrative opening, and then we can all start at level 11 and have fun, or whatever you would like. So, don't hold yourself back. Remember to check and feel how things feel at each level. Think in the future, maybe you'll want to give some more or some less items, maybe you'll want some spells to be available or banned or just not present easily, maybe you want some things to be reserved as high rewards for quests of great importance whilst other things are more readily available, and so on and so forth. Maybe sometimes you want your players to have always help with their combat from followers, except when you feel that they're getting overpowered. Then you can sort of draw help away from them. But this is one way to sort of control how powerful the combat feels. When you have sort of half of the opposing battlefield under your control and the full battlefield on your side under control, you can better control who deals what kind of blow to the other side. So that can help you balance things out, if it's no bother to you to sort of simulate all that and work with it. But if it is too much of a bother, you don't have to do it. It's all doable even without that. I'm just suggesting one sort of avenue of pursuit. And finally, and this is the king or queen move here, you can ask your players what they would like. If you're a very experienced DM and your party is experienced, your players are great, you learned to trust in their ability to do what you all set out to do, then you can ask them what would they prefer and how would they prefer it. More experience, faster leveling rates, specific level of start, exact campaign opportunities, all that good stuff is at the tip of your fingers, as long as you can assure that your party is satisfied and that they're feeling good, that they're playing great, that everything is running like a smooth, well-oiled machine, and even better than a machine, with feeling, as they say. So, I wish you luck on your adventures, and I would prefer if you told me how it all went in the comments, or ask me whatever questions you may have. And adventure, if you thought this was unique, maybe you can support the channel and spare a click. And I would love to see you next week. Bye.